Get in here on the double!
Yes, Mr. Jameson?
Miss Brandt, where are those photos I asked for?
You're holding them, Mr. Jameson.
No! I mean the photos for page 1! The big story!
But Mr. Jameson, the peace plan for the Middle East was agreed upon by all nations. Peter took some wonderful pictures in front of the UN this morning.
I'm not paying Parker to take pictures, Miss Brandt!
Actually, you are. He's on the payroll as a photographer.
I mean, I'm paying Parker to supplement the print copy! I need Parker to take pictures that are gonna sell the paper! Parker! Where have you been? You teenagers are always goofing off when there's work to be done!
Hey, Mr. Jameson. I swung right over after class. I got some great photos of the Bush impeachment trial yesterday.
And Peter took an amazing picture of that spaceship that crashed today. And then there's the Yeti.
Listen, you two! This isn't a paper that rushes after every thrill-seeking nutjob out there! I want pictures of Spider-Man!
Mr. Jameson, what is it with you and Spider-Man? You've got to let it go.
And let him get away with his crimes? With all the havoc that spandex-covered freak has wreaked on this good city?
But Spider-Man hasn't committed any crimes, Mr. Jameson. He fights crime.
That's just an act. The fact of the matter is that web-headed weasel just covers up his malicious intent with that friendly neighborhood spin job of his.
Oh my God, Mr. Jameson. You're in love with Spider-Man.
What? Hardly, Miss Brandt. Unless by love you mean to say I'm committed to telling the truth about Spider-Man and his role as public enemy #1.
Mr. Jameson, I think what Betty means to say is that you seem to have an obsession with hating Spider-Man. Not to mention the pleasure you seem to get from all the pictures I take of him. They seem to be all you ever want from me these days. Perhaps the city paper wants pictures of the cultural events.
What? City paper, indeed! If it weren't for Dan Savage, that pathetic leftist rag would only be TNA and real estate ads. I'm sure that Spider-Man's on their payroll.
Oh. Mr. Jameson, you've got to stop this obsession. It's just not healthy.
You're right, Miss Brandt. Spider-Man must be stopped, and it's my mission to do it. Someone has to tell the true story about Spider-Man and expose him for the fraud he really is.
Jameson, where Spidey hides, he's chasing him. He prints the truth and never lies, not like that freak with buggy eyes. Listen to Jonah Jameson. Jameson, not mutant spawn, homo sapien. He's not the whiskey nor the vermouth. He's a publisher who tells the truth. Listen to Jonah Jameson.
I was just imagining I lived in a world where only I knew Spider-Man was a criminal. God's gravy! I've got to get a move on!
So, old JJ's up to his old tricks again, trying to catch me at the scene of some crazy crime. When will that guy learn?
I'm telling you, O'Malley, that Spider-Man is going to pull a heist on this very night.
Now look, Jameson, you've gotten us all worked up into a lather before about Spider-Man, and nothing has ever been...
Damn it, O'Malley! If your men were better shots, we'd all be rid of that pest by now!
Look here, Jameson, it's hard to shoot at superheroes. Subconsciously, you don't want to kill them.
He's no hero, my friend. He's the greatest villain the world has ever known. Worse than that baby-eating guy.
Look, Jameson, I'll tell you what. If you agree not to go around blasting at every kid in a Spider-Man t-shirt, I'll give you a free gun.
Really? You mean I'm allowed to shoot that menace?
Well, by law, I have to deputize you first, but seeing as how you're a model citizen and all.
Just get me that heater, Flatfoot.
Well, if old JJ is gonna start packing a lead shooter, I better watch my step. Jameson is the only guy who knows that I was responsible for stealing the orphans' Christmas money. Stealing the collective knowledge of Dementia 5 for heroin. Ripping off that anti-gravity I-beam. And of course, destroying that band, the Squawkers. They were awful.
Now that I've been deputized, I'll be sure to get Spider-Man!
Attention all cars. Shoot Spider-Man on sight.
Spider-Man! 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 That kid's got a Spider-Man t-shirt!
I'll let the cops take care of you.
He's practically in league with Spider-Man!
Last night reached success.
I'll just
and
lob off a few warning shots above his head, more or less, and...
Oh, shit.
Good gravy! My shots ricocheted and hit Spider-Man! I've done it! I'm a hero! At last, now that Spider-Man is dead, we can get back to making the Daily Bugle what it's supposed to be. The manipulative tool of a right-wing government. Yeah!
Sorry to disappoint you, Jameson.
But you're dead!
Am I? Ever heard of cloning, JJ? I'm sure a scientific genius like Peter Parker would marvel at my ability to create an endless army of cloning.
Parker's no scientist! That kid's a goof-off!
Clement, JJ. Parker's a genius. You barely pay him enough to support his lab rent, much less his research in cloning. Now that the world thinks I'm dead, it'll be easier to screw with you. You'll be like that guy with the big teeth who's always chasing the Hulk.
McGee?
No, that don't make me angry guy.
Henry McGee of the Washington Post!
No, look, I'm outta here. By the way, you're a crummy publisher, and that's special non-dissolving webbing, so you'd better get used to peeing in bottles.